always, always a pleasure and fun to be with you, Tara and Cecil, um, and to be just part of the group. I mean, I think that's one of the big things that I always say, that one of the reasons I chose WOW is because of the people. Is that we're working with each other, helping each other, looking to build each other. It's you can do business. Yes, business is important, but if you don't have a team, if you don't have others around you, it detracts from life. And so that's the wow part of just being here, and that I enjoyed. I'm fortunate to have the background, the information that I have. Yeah, I've had fun, and that's what I always say. As Cecil said, it's fun. Um, is that fun in life, fun in learning? And if you kind of take that approach to enjoying life and enjoying the fun parts of it, you know that even the knowledge is important. I mean, the information is important, but even more important than the information is your attitude, your reflection, and how you present what it is that you talk about. And so, what I just want to do is just kind of give a little tidbits on why CBD is something that you can easily talk about, something that you can easily work with, and something that you can easily use yourself. I have my jars in my bathroom every morning that I mix up my concoctions and start my day with, and help me through the day. So that's really what I want to do. Just pass on a little information to help everybody have some information to add to your excitement of when you talk to things, when you talk to people about things. Can I do a screen share?
Yes, you should be. I don't know
Give me the
if
power. Give me the power.
Cecil, you're gonna have to do it because it's on your Zoom.
Oh, I'm without
Uh
power.
oh.
You're good now.
Okay.
You're good. You got
I'm
it.
good. I'm good. I have
You
the
can share
power.
it.
I have the power. All righty. Let's see here if I can just find out where it's supposed to be. I'll just go for this. All right. All right. Let the show begin. All right. Well, I want to just sort of talk about, Tupac was very um, coy when he named our product line Cherish, because that's what you have to be able to do. You have to know how to cherish your health. One of my um, most outstanding professors, Dr. LaSalle D. LaFall, may he rest in peace, would always tell us that you want to live as long as you can, as healthy as you can. In order to do that, you have to cherish your health. It means everything from drinking the amount of water, getting the amount of sleep, challenging your brain, challenging your muscles, understanding that health is all about that balance. And how do you do stuff to help yourself be healthy? And you start off by cherishing it. That is, cherish was to say that you honor it, you take care of it, you want it to be its best. And so when we name our product line Cherish, that's what we're saying. We're saying we want to add to you those kinds of things that can make you honor and be happy for your health. And our CBD line is just one of those things that helps that. And when we talk about CBD, we always talk about the balance. It's not that CBD is just that one little dot that balances the scale. It's the combination of dots that balance the scale. And that's what health is about. Everybody's going to have something. Somebody's going to have a pain. Somebody's going to have an ache. Somebody's going to have an anxiety. Somebody's going to have a stress attack. Somebody's going to have nervousness. Everybody's going to have something. As they always say, nobody gets out of this game alive. And so, since you know that, you just have to make certain you do stuff to help balance whatever it is that you have. Too many times we wish for ourselves to be that other person because they appear to be just so much better. or they appear to have so much more. And it's not like that. You know, there's the old saying of that the grass is always green on the other side of the fence, but you don't know how much fertilizer they have to use. You know, you have to pay to be what you are. And that's what we're doing here. We're saying, let's take what you have and make it the best that it can be. And so that's what our CBD line does. It looks at the most common things that we have issues with, and then we take that and add that to the CBD to make it even better. As I've mentioned earlier, I always said, surround yourself with like-minded people. Just yesterday, my wife was listening to the now Alexa's taken over our lives. So we're listening to Alexa in the morning, and as Alexa's going, and one of the Republican candidates was getting ready to speak, she said, "Did you hear that?" I said, "I don't listen to that. I don't want to hear what he has to say. I don't want to feed his negativity into my mind." And you have to make certain and guard what it is that gets into your mind. Because once you get stuff in, you can't get it out. So you have to make certain that you surround yourself with people who want to be healthy, who want to help you, who honor your help to them. And that's what we talk about when we're doing this. Unfortunately, we said 90%, maybe not 90%, but a good percent of what people talk about is untrue. People just assume stuff. If you ever want to really challenge somebody one time, they say something, say, "Where'd you get that from?" "Oh, I heard it." "Where'd you hear it from?" "Oh, I just know it." "How do you know it?" You'd be surprised how we just assume things, and the next thing you know, it becomes the law. And so you have to stop just accepting everything and just being the one that just absorbs stuff. And then you got to figure out what much other stuff I absorb can I get rid of. That's the same thing that happened with CBD. CBD is that product that even in my own training, we were just told that wasn't even talk about CBD. It was just a whole marijuana plant, that it was a bad thing in the category of LSD and other drugs that break chromosomes and cause permanent brain damage and brain and body injury. Well, when you teach that at the medical school level, you can understand why when you say to your doctor, "Hey, I want to talk to you about CBD," that they go, "Oh, no, I don't want to talk about that." You know, it's been demonized. And if you go back and check the history, it was political. There was a lot of it was now, yes. Anything an overdose. You drink too much water, you're gonna die. Okay? So it's not a matter of, oh, it has these bad effects. Well, if you take too much THC, yes, you're right. It has some bad effects. Okay? But there are other things that you find that CBD doesn't have the same effect. There are some good parts of it. And even when we look at a combination of CBD and THC, there are some what we refer to as the entourage effect, where you get an enhanced benefit of that. And that's why we have the whole products where you can be able to sort of get both, not just the CBD, but there are a whole array of over 800 different chemicals that are found in the hemp plant. And God didn't just throw these things together. They're put there for a reason. You know, you talk about the flavonoids. Those who are in the health world know that the reason why all those bright fruits and vegetables are that way are because of flavonoids. And we know that flavonoids helps to improve your immune system. You know that flavonoids help balance your GI system. We know that flavonoids are a part of the chemistry that keep us going. And so you have to be able to sort of look at that. You have to understand that, yeah, I know history is just that, it's ancient history. And sometimes we think that modern technology, like I said, Alexa or your smart watch, your smartphone, your smart car is the best thing going. But sometimes you have to go back and say, why have people been using this for 4,000 years? Why is it that this has been around that long and hasn't been just pushed to the side? Because it has benefits. Okay? And so sometimes going back and being able to sort of sift through all of the stuff that you get beyond our sort of gluttony for technology that, oh, I got to know for certain exactly where. Well, if I went into the chemistry of all this stuff, I would bore everybody to death or lose you in the sands, and you'd be like, okay. So sometimes too much technology is just too much, and it's not really worth it. And so sometimes you have to get to the point where you need to know why, you need to know what it is that you can use that can be helpful to other people. And that's what I just want to touch on, is how we can have enough information to interact with people to help them cherish their health. That's our big thing. There are advantages, and we're going to talk about some of those advantages. And one of the biggest things that we look at is that inflammation. And if you talk to doctors these days, when you talk about whether it's cancer, whether it's infection, whether it's autoimmune disease, the root nature of it is inflammation. And unfortunately, we have gotten to the point where we aren't just inflamed, we have destroyed our environment. We put all kinds of particles in our environment. It's in our foods, it's in everything. And we are aggravating our systems, creating more inflammation. Not to mention the fact that we are all sort of, you get older and you say, I've arrived and I just need to sit here and just enjoy my position. And you allow inflammation to sit in, and then you wonder why I can't move around. So inflammation is important. That's what we have to know. So we'll start off, and as I mentioned earlier, our full spectrum. Our full spectrum is just that. We're now talking about not just part of, but the whole plant. Now, on the right-hand side, I've actually taken the cutout from the website. And this is an important source for you to be able to go to the website and you get the basic information you need there. And of course, we always have the FDA warning, make sure you consult your physician, blah, blah, blah. If you have adverse effects, that's our standard FDA warning. But what you do want to look at, it says you can take 1 to 2 servings daily or as needed. Hold under your tongue and a seconds to 30 seconds and swallow. Well, if you ever heard about people having a heart attack? You have a heart attack, they say, give them a glycerin, get a nitroglycerin. What do they do with the nitroglycerin? They put it under their tongue. They put it under their tongue because under your tongue is one of the quickest absorptions into your body. That's why we put the nitroglycerin under your tongue. We are now taking advantage of that fast absorption. Yes, your stomach absorbs, your intestines absorb, but coming under your tongue is right there and starts absorption right away. So your mouth actually works not only as a mechanical to prepare your food, but it also acts to start the absorption of things into your body. And so there you see, it's right there for you. Life is easy. We get 1 ml, 1 dropper full, 30 mLs in a bottle. It's a month's supply, basically. Okay, and that's important from a marketing perspective. Okay, I don't want a bottle that has 45 mLs in it because it's going to last everybody a month and a half. You want it to last a month, and we go back again. Okay, that's important. We got a month's supply, and from a sales perspective, a month sounds good. Here you get a whole month's supply. Not 45 days, not 15 days, a whole month's supply. Okay. And now we'd also, how much CBD is in it? It tells you right here on your website, full spectrum, 33 milligrams of CBD extract. And that's because if you take the 1,000 milligrams and you divide it by the 30, you get 33.33333. Easy math. Okay. If you take 2 of them, you get 66. Okay. Good news is, if you drink the whole bottle of CBD, you might get a little diarrhea. But other than that, it's not a reported problem. Okay, so this has what we call a very wide safety range. Okay, where if you took it, it's safe. As a matter of fact, Tillman Doe often talks about his son being on a CBD. His son is actually on a CBD oil. And in the medical perspective, when we give the CBD, we give 1,000 milligrams in a dose. There is a pharmaceutical preparation that is actually cannabinoid, and the dose is 1,000 milligrams per dose. Okay, that lets you know how wide the range is in terms of its use. All right. Now, and next after that, you get some little ingredients. MCT oil for those who are interested in sort of making certain that you get calmness in your stomach, easiness of your digestion. That's what MCT oil does. It's one of those soothing. It's called medium chain triglycerides. It's a fatty acid, okay? And fats are the stuff that makes stuff taste good in life, okay? And so his is an oil that actually goes in and actually soothes your body, okay? And so the medium that we have that's mixed in is a calming medium. That's what the MCT oil is. This, the broad spectrum, we'll talk a little bit more about that. The terpenes is also some of those terpenes and the flavonoids. These are some of the other products that are in the CBD product there, okay? And natural flavors, we're not adding red dye number 3 or any kind of orange flavor number 2 into this. No, this is the flavor, okay? And this is the plant extract that we're using. It's called the sativa. And so on your, right there on your website, you can go in and get all the information you're going to need. Okay, it says how much is in the bottle, it says how much the dose is, lets them know exactly what's in the preparation. It's right there. Okay, on the other side, you now have your label, and we made it really nice. Made the label green. Green is for full spectrum. Okay, so it's full spectrum, 1,000 milligrams, and you see there's 1 fluid ounce, which is another measurement for 30 mLs. Okay, and so that's why this is a nice, easy to use, easy to sell product there. Okay, we have a number of our points there talking about it is made in the U.S. Okay, this is not one of those things that's made somewhere in somebody's kitchen someplace. That we have a high quality lab that we use, certified manufacturing, third-party lab testing, which means you actually can go on and see the lab test reports. That's not part of our company. It validates everything that's there. Okay, and free of free and vegan. And so lots of folks want to know, is it's just that they use any kind of proteins, they use any kind of gelatin in it. And if you're vegan, you don't want those kinds of things, but this just lets you know that that's what you have. So you know that this is an easy one to use. Our isolate, I always say, is for those folks who just say, I'm not sure, I only know that the CBD is good, so that's all I want. Okay, no problem. CBD is the major compound that is active, so you get just the CBD. It's the same strength because you get CBD 1,000 milligrams in the bottle, all right, and your servings is 1 ml, all right. And there you, once again, your MCT oil is there, your hemp-derived CBD, your terpenes, natural flavors, the same plant that we use. So here you have easy to look at blue. So if you have that problem reading those little writings, like I do some days, so I have multiple pairs of glasses everywhere because I'm trying to enlarge stuff. It even got so bad, I'm taking pictures of stuff now and enlarging it with my camera, trying to read the writing. Oh, all right. So I made this bigger so you wouldn't have that problem there. So you can kind of see it right there and you know what's on the bottle. You can point to the bottom, even if you can't see it, and say, it says 1,000 milligrams. Where is it? Right there. Can you see it? No, I can't see it, but I know it's right there. Life is easy. Now, why are these important? Why are these important? Let's just kind of go over some of the stuff that you look at. Inflammation. And I just talked about the fact that when you talk about disease, and it doesn't, almost 95% of all of our diseases have based in some kind of inflammation, whether it's arthritis, whether it's autoimmune disorders, whether it's infections, even your cancers, all of those have a basis, the inflammation. And a lot of times the destruction in the body, the pain in the body is caused by what the inflammation releases. And so you have these little cells that fight off stuff. They're supposed to stay locked up until something goes wrong. And then if something comes in, they kind of come out and they kill stuff. All right. Well, in inflammation, they're just being released willy-nilly. And so you have some of these inflammatory products being released in your body, and there's nothing for it to go after. And sometimes, since there's nothing to do, they go after you. That's why you have the pain. Okay. Now, also, you got to remember, though, pain is important because pain lets you know where something is wrong at. Okay. Where something is being inflamed, something's being attacked. So that gives you don't want to be without some pain in life, or you'll be like our diabetics. Diabetics very often have foot problems because they lose the sensation in their feet and they find themselves kicking stuff and don't even recognize they kick it. And so often our diabetics will come with sores and injuries to their feet because they have no pain. So pain is an important part of it. You have to know how to do that, okay? Muscle spasms, it sort of releases the muscles. Whether the muscles are constantly moving, they get to contracting. If they contract too much, it releases what we call lactic acid. The lactic acid creates pain in the muscles. Then the pain in the muscles makes you even more tense. It becomes a cycle. And so this helps to relieve that kind of spasms. So whether it's in your neck, whether it's in your head, whether it's in your shoulders, it helps to release that in your back. That's what it's good for. Decreases seizures. I mentioned that earlier. The brain also is very sensitive to things, and sometimes areas in your brain just kind of start firing off uncontrollably. And that uncontrollable firing off is what we refer to as seizures. So being able to help control the activity in your brain is what it does. Not so far as seizures, but even just anxiety. Everybody gets a little anxious, but it's when you can't be unanxious is when it's a problem. Okay? And so that's what anxiety is about. Anxiety is about that anxiety or that concern of loss of control and inability to help bring that back down. And so that's what anxiety is. It helps you to help calm down, and so you can begin to think about what's happening and move on and be productive. Okay? Neurodegenerative actually goes back to our inflammatory issues. Okay, so those neurodegenerative diseases, whether it's lupus, whether it's myasthenia gravis or MS, all those kinds of things are inflammatory processes, and this helps. We also know that CBD works with nausea and vomiting. It sort of calms the brain down in those nervous conditions in the brain that may cause nausea and vomiting. All right, now helping reduce delusions, hallucinations, and paranoia associated with schizophrenia, bipolar, depression. Now, I've been in the business a long time, and oftentimes I talk to parents, and they'll tell you, "Yeah, I'm bipolar. I'm bipolar. I'm bipolar." And you say, "Oh yeah, what do you take? You take Prozac or you take lithium?" They go, "Oh, I hate those things. They can't stand them." I said, "Well, what you do? Do you smoke?" And they'll stop and look at me like, "What you mean?" I said, "Do you smoke?" "What you mean?" "You smoke marijuana?" "Yeah, how you know?" Because many folks who are bipolar, many folks who have anxiety disorders find CBD to be helpful in helping to control it. And they don't get that up too high or down too low, and sometimes they get with medications. And so it's not uncommon for people who have delusions or anxiety, stress, bipolar to help themselves with CBD. Okay. Now, like anything else, if some folks take it to the point where they just get themselves too relaxed, then we have a little bit of a problem with anxiety or non-productiveness. But that's in those high doses of THC as opposed to what you see with CBD. Okay. All right. Promotes a sense of calming and well-being, aids in digestion, just what we talked about. And so this is some of those basic things you need to look at: inflammation, nervousness, any kind of inflammatory process that CBD as a oil can be helpful for them. Okay, things you might want to talk about, kind of going on what we already said: chronic pain. Chronic pain. Well, you live long enough, you're going to have some pain, and we find that CBD orally or topically, and we'll talk about topical in a minute, can help relieve some of the pain. Okay, it also helps relieve the tension and the stress. Dealing with seizures, this one you have to be careful with. You want to make sure they talk to their doctor. Okay, and to know that our doses are a lot less than what we're doing medically. Okay, but it may help calm the brain and help with what we're talking about next: anxieties and the stress. Okay, now we actually had a young lady who was coming to a conference of ours. She got to the conference and she had a phobia of people. She was unable to go into a room of full people. She actually took a dose of CBD, waited about 10 or 15 minutes, found herself calm enough to go in and sit through the whole meeting. because it helped reduce her anxiety. Now, for some people, you have to tell them, try it, you'll like it. You know, the old Mikey thing, okay? Because people are like, oh, nothing works for me. Nothing works for me. Well, you haven't tried this, okay? So you want to kind of get people to try it, and it helps. And speaking of trying it, we have our wonderful sample packs. Our sample packs are helpful in that they're easy. You get 3 in a pack. We have one that's good for our sleep. We have one that's good for energy. And we actually have one that's good for wellness, which is sort of a immune balance system there, okay? And so for you folks who are just, I want to make certain I say it's as healthy as I can, immune gummy will be helpful for them. Now, they're not going to get a big buzz with that one, but it does help. It's like taking a vitamin. Yeah, all the vitamins you take don't always get you to jump up out your chair, but it does help your body when it's faced with confrontations. Energy, for those people who either find themselves at the end of the day or sometimes even the middle of the day, kind of just running out of energy. Okay? Got a nice, great flavor. It's good. Our sleep is good because not only does it help you go to sleep, it helps you relax. It enhances deep sleep. Now, you can go to sleep, and if you only have superficial sleep, you're still going to wake up tired. It is important that you go to sleep and you go into REM sleep. And when you go into the REM sleep, that acts as when your mind and your body are able to relax. You can lay down in the bed for 12 hours and you don't get any deep sleep. You're going to still feel like I didn't get good rest. You can go to lay down for 4 hours and get into deep REM sleep and feel refreshed. Okay? And so that's why these are important, to help people get to that point there. Yes, I do have a question coming up. Miss E, what is your question? I will entertain.
Hello, everybody. I wanted to know, you said you had 3 samples, and so, or are you going to give a person 3 samples? And if you do, does it take 3 times to take the 3 in order for them to feel the difference in their body?
Okay, good question, good question. These bags have 3 samples in each one. Each one of them has 3 gummies in it. And in your monthly subscription, you actually get regular packs with those 3 in there. Now, does it take 3? No. The immune gummy, they're not going to feel it. Okay. The energy gummy, they will feel it. Okay. Now the sleep gummy, depending on how sensitive people are, we've actually told people take a half of one first. Okay, because some folks just really get knocked out, but they wake up in the morning not drugged. So sometimes you'll find that a half a gummy is sufficient for you to get good sleep. So this is a way of very, and actually coming out off of COVID, everyone is really sort of hands clean and everything. Nobody wants you to touch anything. So this way you're able to give them a sample of 3 in a nice sealed package. I like the fact we just came out with our samples of our pain cream. And again, it's nice sample size. You don't have to worry about somebody saying, well, has anybody touched this before? I don't know if I want to. Here. You can give them a nice aliquot, as we say in the land. Okay? Okay?
Okay.
All right. All right. And here, not only do we come in sample sizes, you can get this, you get them also in larger sizes. And again, just as I mentioned before, on your website, you get all the information you need. Here, it tells you exactly what's in your energy gummy, the green coffee bean extract, the guarana, and the B12, and the isolate CBD. Okay? And so we're able to show that, show all of the different markings there in terms of whether there's any fat, any other impurities that are in there. And it also tells them how much CBD is in it. Okay? And so a serving is 1. And so this gives you that information right there that you can go to your website. You can actually print this off if somebody wants it or needs it and give this to them. Okay? Here we talk about what's in the product there. Okay? And so again, our flavoring is in there. Our tapiola syrup, which is an organic tapiola syrup, is not some artificial flavoring that we add to it. Okay, all right. And so there, that's what you're getting. And we see the green because this is actually a full spectrum product there. Okay, so this is our energy. Okay. Just more talking points with the gummies. Same thing. Talk to people, listen to people, listen, listen, listen. You know, if you find yourself dominating a conversation, you're probably talking too much. Okay? Your job is to ask just enough to get them to talk. Your job is to just direct the conversation just enough to keep them going. Oh, you don't sleep well? Tell me about that. What have you tried? Oh, that's interesting. I have something. Oh, what is it? Let me show you. Okay. You get tired. Oh, I know somebody got tired too. They tried something. Oh, what did they try? One of our energy gummies. Oh, you have a sample? Yes, I do have a sample. Okay. So you want to not be that person that just sort of goes through, looks into me. I got this gummy. It's the best gummy in the world. It tastes so good. I really love it. I sleep every night. I can't get enough of the energy and that I get from the energy gummies. And I just love taking those things. I take my immune balls and people want to walk away from you. Okay. The secret of interviewing is to get the other person to talk about themselves. That's how also secret of making friends. People like people who let them talk about themselves. Nobody wants to listen to somebody who's always talking about themselves. So you're controlling the conversation. You're helping that conversation happen. So you're looking for, these are lead questions. You know anybody who needs the energy or concerned about their immune system, then you listen. Okay? That's the important part here, is how you work with that. Now, here's our paid therapies. And I put these all on here together because here is one of our certificate of analysis. And again, you can go on the website and go directly to the certificate of analysis. It shows people, for those folks who are want to see the data there, exactly how much is in it, what's there. This is not our lab. It's the independent lab that actually does our analysis for us. We have 3 pain preparations. Okay. They're actually the same preparation in different delivery forms. So you have the cream, you have the roll-on, and you have the spray. Okay? And so it allows you to give it in different ways. All right? And it works very, very well. Our cream, for instance, I love the cream. That's my favorite one in the morning, as I put the cream on. All right? It has a menthol, it has a slight ting to it, tingling, which I find just wonderful to know that I'm getting that relief. Okay? But it's a very good one there. And this is one that it comes in a 2-ounce bottle, but let people know they only need a fingertip. You're not putting this on like lotion. You're putting on just enough to go over the area. Okay. And if they do that, that can be very helpful. I think I come up with this is our spray. Our spray is helpful also. Okay. Because it gives you a lot, easy to put on. Now, sometimes the spray goes a little wide, which is why some people prefer the cream better, because you can put it right where you want to. Yes, Miss E. Miss E, what's your name? Miss E? You got to mute and talk. Oh, maybe they put your hand down. Okay, no problem. I'll keep going. But if it comes back up, just wave. All right. The spray. So sometimes the difference there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had the mute on.
Oh.
Two questions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one with the cream and the spray and the
Roll-on.
ointment. Does that have a smell? Because a lot of people always use like Bengay and it's kind of strong, and like old people use that because they know you got it on. Is yours have a strong smell?
The cream does have a menthol smell. Okay.
Okay.
The spray is very, very weak on the spray. And also the roll-on. And so of these, the cream probably has more of a menthol scent to it compared to the other two.
We
Okay.
need to come up with something smell a little bit better.
Oh no, it doesn't. But I remember. Notice I said a small. You put it on. You know it's there, but it's not like you're that Bengay walking person. Okay.
Okay. My next question. If they're talking about the pills, and they said what pills they're taking, maybe they're taking for older people, they may be taking the sea moss, or either they might be taking some those pills for after 50, Satyrian or something like that. So can we say about how it's the strength compared to those pills and those things?
Okay, so most of the herbal products, we don't have a problem of countering those. Okay, so somebody's taking sea moss for balancing their immune system. This only adds to their balance. It doesn't cause a problem. Most of even our medications, whether it's high blood pressure medications or whether it's pain medications, this does not clash with that. The only one we worry about is the oral CBD if somebody's taking blood thinners. Although we have had reps who are on blood thinners who've taken the oral and have had no problem. But just technically speaking, because we know that the purpose of blood thinners is to keep your blood out of balance and less clotting, and the purpose of CBD is to keep your body in balance, you're sort of fighting against each other to some extent, from an academic perspective. But in reality, I've not had a person really complain who has had it. But that would be our only true warning.
Okay, so you would definitely have to let them know if they have high blood pressure. You would have to let them know about the blood thinners.
No, not high blood pressure, not high blood pressure, clotting problems on blood thinners. The high blood pressure, we've had no problems.
And what was the other one you said?
Blood thinners.
Oh,
people
blood
who had
thinners.
heart attacks or people who had clots.
Yeah, like Coumadin or something?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there's our spray. Now, this is the one that I really talked about a lot at our last convention. If you haven't had it, you ought to get it, okay? Sometimes you need to just sort of enjoy life. Sometimes you need to do things to help you just feel better. If you've never used salts before, this is a good one to start with. If you use salts before, it helps to sort of, sort of purify your skin. It sort of takes off the rough top layer of your skin, allows your skin to rejuvenate itself. Okay, so bath salts have been known for years to be very refreshing. Lavender is another one of those flavonoids, actually. Lavender, that fragrance comes from a particular flavonoid that actually has a relaxing effect on the body. Eucalyptus also has an enhancing for your immune system. And so what we have here is your bath salts intensified with lavender and eucalyptus, which helps you not only feel better, but helps you to sort of get a relaxation. And then the CBD is added on top of that. Now you can use this in any way you want. You can take it, put it in a bathtub, or you can just do it topically. You can wash your hands with it. Okay, you can apply small amounts on your face and on the rest part of your body to sort of help get that cleansing. Okay, one of the problems, as you know, with aging is the fact your skin kind of loses its texture, it loses elasticity. The bath salts helps the skin to rejuvenate. That's why this is helpful. And this is actually one of our cheapest products, like $29 for a big container. Okay, and so if you've never used a bath salt, you ought to get it just to try it. Okay, for your hands, I'm one of these people who wash my hands. I can't even count how many times a day I wash my hands. As a physician, I wash my hands going into the room. I wash my hands coming out of the room. So I'm going in washing, coming out washing, and I use bath salts to help keep my hands at rejuvenated looks where they're not getting tired. Okay, for your body, just good to sort of help rejuvenate you. This is something you don't need to do every day. Okay, you may do it once or twice a week. But bath salts are a good way of giving yourself a reward. Okay. Let's see, as I mentioned, always for a healthier skin, it's excellent for your skin. It helps you also with the effects of just the salt therapy, the cleansing of the pores, the cleansing of the dead skin off of your body. It helps give you that younger look. Okay. And yes, I've been using bath salt since I was a small child, so you can see how young I look now. All right, I'm going to stop here and sort of answer some questions. Do we have any questions that we need to go through? I wanted to just sort of really intensify the point that it's not about being that all-knowing everything, but it's more about one, using your products and knowing your products, understanding that what we're trying to do is serve a need. When I say serve a need, people are in pain, people have anxiety, people have stress, people want to enjoy their life, but you can't enjoy your life if you're all uptight. You can't enjoy your life when you're all in terrible pain. You can't enjoy your life when you're worried about, am I just going to get overtaken by some of the stuff that's out here in the environment? This is what we're doing. We're here to help them enjoy their life. Thus, our products is Cherish Health. Got the commercial break.
I just want to take a moment and just express my heartfelt appreciation for the remarkable level of expertise that Dr. Fred has brought to this tonight, taking this time to really do a deep dive and really help folks to fully understand the benefit of these remarkable products that we have. So thank you so very much, Dr. Fred. Truly appreciate you. This was really beneficial conversation and some powerful tools. So let's take a few minutes to get some questions answered. I see we got Jamie has her hand up. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll give you a chance to get your questions answered by Dr. Fred. So we'll start with Jamie. Jamie, please, Mike is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Fred. I had a brain freeze for a second. Thank you so much. My guest, Pastor Florence Baker, is on, and Miss E, she prefers to be called Miss E Ferdinand out of Texas, and Miss Baker, Pastor Baker out of Milwaukee. But my question is, what I have to do an explanation. So when people are in a lot of pain and on meds, I usually give them like a 3 thing regimen: the cream, a spray or a roll-on in between, and then the oil. So that's from experience. I want to know, am I doing a good thing?
Yes, you are, because like anything else, things wear off. And so, and plus, as you sort of build up, you get that added effect of using the cream. The spray is always a quick use when you kind of feel a little breakthrough. It kind of helps with it. So yeah, and people kind of figure out what their needs are. Okay. So if you use the products, you'll notice the difference. And because not only is it just a topical, what you put on topical is actually absorbed and balancing into your cannabinoid system. Okay, so it's not just that it's here. This is actually helping your entire nervous system to relax with the pain and stress.
Thank you so very much. Anyone else that has questions and wants to get additional clarification and wants to understand more about the products or about what has been shared by Dr. Fred? This is a unique opportunity. It's not often you get to do that. So I see Dee has unmuted. So Dee, please, mic is yours.
Thank you so much for the information and assistance. When it comes to THC, which is the marijuana, compared to CBD, and you said there are people with anxiety, depression, and that's the younger set. We're talking about late teenagers, and I cut it off at age 40. And I have people that I know who will use THC, the marijuana, for their anxiety, for their stress, and they're just going to chill out. But you said something very important. Marijuana can cause a person to go in close to like fugue state, just be so brought down, they do nothing. Why does that happen?
Because of the doses of what we're giving people these days. The marijuana is not the stuff that was being used in the 60s and 70s. They have concentrated at higher doses, and the THC is in a higher concentration. It is the THC that has the it's called the CNS, or the brain depression part. Okay, and so all those THC can work with CBD to get an entourage effect. Too much of that THC does have that depressive effect to it. Okay. Now the other thing that lots of folks say, well, I'm fine, I'm using my marijuana, it helps me a whole lot. I talk to a lot of my young adults who are now like, oh, term marijuana is okay. It helps me. It's legal in a lot of places. One of the big problems is you don't know what you're getting. And not only you don't know what you're getting, I tell people all the time, fentanyl is cheap. In the drug world, fentanyl is cheap. It is very addicting and is very cheap. So what they're doing is they're putting fentanyl in all kinds of stuff. So people who think they're getting just marijuana, okay, are finding that, wow, this stuff is really strong. And what we found with drug use, particularly the heroin and the opioids, is that there's about a 25% of the world's population that when their brain is exposed to opioids, their brain refuses to forget it. And that's why we
where
have
the
this.
addiction.
Yes, that's why we have this addiction. It's not that they're weak people. Once your brain gets exposed to it, your brain goes, I got to get more of this. You hear about people say, oh, I hit it one time and walked away. Wrong brain. If you're the one that gets it and your brain is that's why all of a sudden, when we were handing out oxycodone like crazy, they've had all these people who've been addicted. And when you can't get hold to one, you end up going to something different. So that's the biggest problem, is that fentanyl is cheap, it's being made, and it's being put in everything.
So with that fentanyl, if
Mhm.
say someone uses cocaine or heroin or marijuana, they don't know, and there's no way to know until it's ingested. Can fentanyl be seen, smelled,
Nope.
tasted?
Nope, 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 nope,
It doesn't have a metallic taste or anything?
nope, nope.
That's highly dangerous.
That's why you hear about people dropping dead. That's why they're saying you should put what are these things, the Narcan in every home and all of that, because people are buying stuff everywhere, not knowing what they're getting. And the fentanyl is so cheap that they're getting higher and higher doses of it. One of my physician friends had a guy overdose on fentanyl. He didn't take one Narcan to save his life. He took 7 Narcans, one after the other, to
It's
save
that
the guy
strong.
from dying. That's how strong it is. Okay.
My goodness. And see, law enforcement and paramedics and the ER, they all have the Narcan.
Well,
And
they do have it, but
they
most,
have it, but
they have
you
about
were
7
saying,
of them.
yeah, and you saying people should have it in their homes?
Oh no, that's the big push these days. Listen to the news. The new thing is they want to have Narcan everywhere. They are advertising that people should have Narcan in their homes. They want to make it over the counter because there's so many folks who've been exposed to this fentanyl, and it's a problem. But fentanyl is only one half of the coin. The other half of the coin is PCP.
That's still circulating.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. And whenever you hear about somebody who got shot because they were acting really crazy, you
I
can bet
remember
$1.
that back in the 80s. Yes.
Oh, it just happened yesterday. A guy got shot just yesterday by the police force because he was ranting and raving, being aggressive, and found out he was on PCP.
And from my understanding, back in the 80s and 90s, PCP is tranquilizer for veterinarians.
Yeah. But you see, they refer to it on the street as dippers. Now I'm going into another category. I'm
I
sorry.
Like, this is
understand,
like a
but I
drug
never heard
education.
that.
Bring it
I
back to
never heard
CBD.
that.
But see,
Can
Bring it back to
CBD
CBD.
help?
see,
Can
hold
CBD?
on, wait. Let me give you the whole story. PCP is sold because the guy walks around with a little container of fluid. You take your marijuana and you dip it into it. You take your cigarette and you dip it into it. Then you can take it and smoke whatever you want to. It is already laced now with PCP. Or the guy who goes and borrows a cigarette from somebody, not knowing it was dipped and wondering, whoa. And PCP is the one where you hear about the guy jumping off a building and ripping people's faces off, and because PCP takes you there. And this is the problem with our folks who are saying there are lots of marijuana is a legal drug, and I don't have the problem of marijuana saying that it's an entry drug into something else, but I think that it's being used to get people into other things. And you have to be careful for the folks who say, I can just get mine on the street. And I'm not pushing any dispensaries as that you need to get it from there, but you need to know what you're out there against. Okay, that's why we have CBD isolate. That's why we have a full spectrum. Okay, we're not worried about this is going to give them fentanyl or PCP, or even worse, there's some things out there that right now we can't pick up what it is. We know these people have taken something, but their actions are so crazy that when they do the drug test on them, they all come up negative. But there are other things out there that don't even show up on the drug screens.
I
Just
understand.
as destructive to the brain.
Yeah, thank you. And
A lot,
that's
a
why
lot of
I
synthetics,
push.
too, a lot of synthetics, a lot of synthetics.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's why I push CBD. No, you're not going to get high, although it's going to calm you, help you. It will help with pain because so many individuals are suffering from pain from whatever. Instead of using the marijuana and anything else that could be laced with it or cut with it, use this product and it'll help.
And I
Thank
think
you,
the
sir.
part of that, thank you, welcome. Part of that is you got to look at your market. Okay. There are people out there who just want to get high. That's what they want. They want to get high. They want to get high. This is not for them. There are other people out there who do want to be healthy, who do cherish their health. Okay. And they're walking the thin line between trying to be healthy because their anxiety is crazy, because their pain is crazy, and they're walking the thin line and getting stuff that can be really damaging to them. That's the market we can work with. Okay.
And I thank you so much, Dee. Appreciate the questions. Thank you so much, Dr. Fred. And just to add a little bit to that, part of what, a lot of folks are trying to buy CBD, trying to find it cheaper, right? They're trying to find cheaper versions of it, trying to find ways to get it less expensive. And what they don't understand is that there are synthetics that are entering into the marketplace that are having major adverse impact. And so you have to know what you get. You need to know that has a certificate of analysis that so you know where it's coming from. Those things are really, really important. And just because it says CBD doesn't mean that's what it is. So again, we can be proud of what we offer because of the quality and where we're getting it from and the documentation that we have to show that. So again, appreciate all that was shared. Anyone else that has a question for Dr. Fred? Let's go to Vicky. Vicky, please, Mike is yours.
I do. I want to know, well, it's a couple of things. First, like I always keep asking, we want to promote these items to people, and we know some people aren't in the best of health. They have heart trouble. When I look it up, some of the things it talks about, we have to be very careful. Kidney, liver. So I want to know, really, how do we know that we're not hurting someone or hurting ourselves? And also, too, like the isolate, the tincture, isn't it a higher dose of CBD in those? Because like the cream, it says you can only put it on 4 times a day, and it works. I mean, I feel comforted when I use it, but why does it say you can only use it 4 times?
No, well, with most things, you got to give a direction. And you look at what our usual, even in your median cases, I personally use the cream once a day. Okay, and that gets me through the whole day. Other folks might find that once a day is not enough for them. Okay, but it's the kind of a product that is strong enough that you don't have to put it on every hour. Okay, and so we have to have some kind of a guideline. The other point that you made there was whether the CBD or whether it's the isolate or the full spectrum have more of a product in it. No, they both only have of the CBD only the 1,000 milligram in the bottle, so the amount is the same. The full spectrum has additional products in there in terms of your terpenes, in terms of your CBG. These are other products that are in the CBD line. And when you go to the certificate of analysis, it shows you what those other products that are in there.
Okay, one more question. So as far as the sleep, helping with sleep, which is better, the gummy or the isolate?
If your
Does it
sleep
make
is
a
your problem,
difference?
if sleep is your problem, probably the gummies. But for some people, it's just a matter of just being anxious and having anxiety. And so for them, they may find some relief with the isolate. But the sleep actually has your herbal product of melatonin, which is well known, well used, that actually does help relax you and enhance sleep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so very
Dr.
much.
Fred,
Yes.
I do want to say though, because she mentioned liver and kidney, when I was introduced to the cream, first introduced to the cream, my liver count was down and my kidney count was down. But when we started the oil, all my vitals went back to normal. However, we don't, or I've heard it said you don't recommend if they have serious, if they're in kidney failure, not CBD. I think that's what I heard before.
Yeah. Because your kidney failure, remember, your body is a cycle. And part of your cycle is you cleanse your body out, you replace stuff, and your kidneys do that cleansing. And so you're not able to sort of see that same cycle. So, and the other problem is if you take your CBD on Tuesday and you go for dialysis on Wednesday, everything you took is going to pretty much get washed out through your dialysis. So you're kind of, Rosemary, you got to share. Rosemary's over there having a
No
very,
kidding. She makes it look good.
yeah, she's having a good meal over there.
I want some of whatever that is so bad.
Yeah.
Can
You
I
better-
ask the question?
I didn't realize that I was being seen.
Oh yeah, we see every mouthful.
I thought that I didn't realize I was on the screen being seen. Because I was just seeing you on the screen.
That's
So
okay.
I thought I was the only one seeing me.
You're a
sorry.
very dainty eater.
I'm so sorry about that. I would have
Hey, listen, you didn't pick your nose or anything. You're totally fine. No problem.
no, I never realized that I was being seen. But I guess for those who have it on gallery view, you can see me.
You're good. You're good. No worries. Totally
Because
fine.
I don't have mine on gallery view. Sorry about that.
That's
You're
okay.
good.
All right,
Right.
quick question.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
work with students and a lot of them special ed,
Mm-hmm.
and they have their IEPs and their 504s. Those that are kind of extra anxious, I just would say, would that be something that I could share with their parents?
Yes. I actually have children who have ADD and children who are autistic who have found some benefit. Now, I say that like that because the benefits are different for different people.
Right.
Okay. But we do know that we have some benefits with the CBD, particularly the tinctures. The good news is our tincture tastes good. You know, I have had other CBDs that when you take it, I'm a pediatrician, which means I tell you, I like stuff that tastes good. Okay. So I'm not one of these people to tell people, you take it, it's good for you. I want it to taste good. When I write amoxicillin, my little kids go, yes. And they take their amoxicillin. Okay. It tastes good. Okay.
All
But
right.
our CBD has a very nice flavor to it. It's very easy. It doesn't have that kick. Some of the other CBDs do have that kind of that aftertaste, or you get burp and you feel like you still feel it in your body or something.
Yes.
You don't get that kind of effect.
Would they take like a half of it because they're children?
No. They can take a dropper full.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's good.
Thank you so much, Miss Elis. I had two folks. I have Bernita and then Badia. So Bernita, please, Mike is yours.
Hi, I love the way Dr. Corder has put this, and I want a copy so that I can use it with people. I love it. And I do want to let you know too that I am on dialysis. You know, I have kidney failure, total kidney failure, but my nephrologist loves it that I'm on CBD. So CBD is still helping me. Yes, I have the peritoneal dialysis, and yes, dialysis pulls some of your vitamins and definitely your protein, you know, out. So in the morning, I have to take extra protein. And in the morning, I take my CBD. And my nephrologist, Dr. Jameson, Dr. Cosette Jameson, says, well, you know, by you taking the CBD, that's probably, because she asked me, she said, you know, you're not supposed to be able to urinate anymore because you have totally dead kidneys. And so but I do. I urinate all the time. And she said, you know, that CBD is actually, you know, your kidneys aren't totally and completely dead, and it's keeping them alive enough to not to be able to do everything on their own, but it's doing some things on their own. So keep on taking it. And furthermore, her patients, different patients that she has, I don't have any pain, but different patients that have pain, she refers them to me for me to give them the CBD.
Excellent. Excellent.
That's a
That is a
powerful.
great testimony.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
wow.
That is so incredible.
You can't hold that in. You gotta let that out more often to me.
That's a powerful testimony. That's remarkable. Thank you so much, Dr. Bonita, for sharing that, because that's huge. That's huge. All right. So let's go to Badia. Badia, please. Mic is yours.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Fred. I appreciate everything you're sharing with us today. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Some of the people that some customers that I have and other people that I work with and I come into contact with are concerned about this new variant of the COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And how would I approach it? I've been approaching it as that the Cherish will help your whole body system. But how would I approach it, telling them that it would help them be stronger if they do encounter the COVID? How would I approach
But that's
that?
what the combination of having the CBD, having the extra vitamin C, helps to sort of build up the immune system. Having the B12, those are things that we know even from the COVID world. Taking B12, taking vitamin C was helpful in fighting it. Sometimes when we talk about viruses, it's not so much that you can always have a direct antiviral, but you can sometimes build your body up to be able to handle the exposure. And that's what you have to do. You know, I'm glad some people are still wearing masks, but the problem is that this stuff is airborne. So it's all over the place. And it's really more important that you have a good, strong immune system that you can handle whatever it is that you get exposed to. Because it's the host, your body. You have to be able to fight back. And sometimes we try to avoid it, but you have to be able to fight back. So the immune boost the immune gummies actually gives you things to help your body be able to sort of protect you against whatever it is that you get confronted with.
If I can ask you really quickly, Dr. Fred, because that was a great share. Can you talk more about how CBD benefits our immune system?
It actually helps the inflammatory process. It actually calms down the inflammatory process. It also helps the cells that are out fighting sort of rejuvenate quicker. Okay, and so what you're looking at is stabilizing your body's reaction. Many times the inflammation is the problem that you get because it either overgoes in terms of its reaction, or some of these cells are not effective. And so CBD helps on both ends of that, helping your immune system be more effective, but also stops it from just sort of releasing what we call kinins. These are products that actually get in the body, get into the system, causes pain and destruction.
So, Dr. Fred, do you recommend they take the CBD oil as well as the gummy if you're trying to protect yourself and you think you're in an environment maybe with a lot of people often, or one over the other?
The CBD oil ought to be your stable. That gives you kind of a baseline. I prefer the full spectrum, but for folks who are concerned, they can take the isolate. But that CBD, that's your baseline. Then you can add on to that, whether it's the energy, the sleep, or the immune for yourself.
Thank you, Dr. Fred.
You're welcome.
Powerful share. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's great. And a great question too in regards to as we're going into flu season, right? So people are, and numbers are going up. So I appreciate that. Anyone else that wanted to ask questions? Again, these are phenomenal questions. And yes, all this is being recorded, and even though it is copywritten by Dr. Fred, you do have it available for us to utilize. Anybody else have any questions or clarification in regards to anything CBD while we have Dr. Fred? And we'll just give it out. Jamie, please, mic is yours.
I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot, but I am sold on CBD. And you said a lot of people have trouble with the full spectrum. I was against the full spectrum, completely against. I wanted to make sure I had no mind altering issues going on, to make sure I didn't have any THC. I want to be sober all the time because I'm crazy enough. Anyway, I messed up and placed the order, and I've been on the full spectrum all year and didn't even know. So, but I started taking the internal because my kidneys are prone to kidney stones, and the inflammation from the surgeries usually bothers me once or twice a month. And I have been doing really, really well all year. And I didn't know I was on the full spectrum. So you don't feel any different.
Excellent.
And I'm so glad you said that. Go ahead, Dr. Fred.
No, I was just saying it's excellent. Good.
Yeah. For those that know me, I've been saying for a long time about the power and the importance of full spectrum products and what it means for us to have as you talked about, the entourage effect, Dr. Corder, the benefit of getting all the different compounds and all the different cannabinoids that help to benefit our bodies. If you're able to utilize all the cannabinoids, more cannabinoids, the better. Mm-hmm. Because it's sort of like saying, I'm just going to drink apple juice as opposed to eating an apple, right? An apple, with all that is in an apple, you get so much more benefit from the entire fruit compared to what you get when you just drink the juice, right? And that's the differentiation between full spectrum and isolate, right? And so you have to understand that you get all of the plant, the natural way the plant was created and you get all the different compounds and cannabinoids that are there the way it was supposed to be. And that's the power of what full spectrum does. So just so glad to hear you say that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Anyone else before we close out? I know we ran a little late tonight, but I wanted to take the time because I think it's important for us to utilize this opportunity to really learn. We're offering some amazing products. We have some amazing things that we're providing to people, and we need to know about it. The more we know about it, the better we are in a position to serve and help change people's lives. And so this is important. Rosemary, I see you unmuted. You want to say something?
Yes. I do have a question about this full spectrum, because doesn't the full spectrum since it does have some THC in it, right? Full spectrum.
Trace amounts.
Okay. So does it make you feel in any way? It doesn't make you feel high in any way.
No.
I take it every day.
No.
No, it does not.
No, me as well. No, in no way, form, or manner. There's no psychoactive impact whatsoever. Go ahead, Dr. Fred.
Yeah. The amount is, we have to say it because we do avoid it in the processing, but because we know in order to get all the other cannabinoids and terpenes in there, you end up with a trace amount which is less than 0.03. And so because of that, the federal government actually has this requirement that if you say that, you must at least, if that amount is in there, you must say that. The isolate, by its definition, has to have 0 of the THC, and that's what the certificate of analysis shows. Okay, but that's one of those. It's like sort of like when you sift things, you can sift some of the stuff out, but in order to get some of the other cannabinoids, you're going to end up with a little bit of the THC in it. But it's not a therapeutic or a recreational level in it. And even folks who've taken drug screens have not shown positive on drug screens.
I didn't pop when I went. I said pop, but I didn't. When I went to have surgery, when I went into the emergency room because I was having an issue, they did a test, and I did not. It didn't, and I had taken it that day, the day before. I always take CBD, and I didn't. It didn't show anything. Not saying that happens to everybody. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but for me, it did not. It did not show up, and it's all the way in my system for sure.
Because you don't even use the dropper. I know you just kind of.
I mean, if you know, if when nobody's looking, that's exactly what I know. But I do take it faithfully very much. So yeah,
It's your
in my
bottle.
mind, they would have, if there's a candidate for it to show up, it would have been me, and it didn't show up.
All right. Well, thank you all.
Can I ask another question, please?
Yes,
Sure.
ma'am.
Okay, just like she said, I thought she said she had surgery. I know I did. And they asked me, are you taking anything else? And in my mind, I'm like, no, really, because it's none of your business for right now. So do they know that I'm taking gummies or any of the
I told them when they asked me, because in case there was something that I didn't know about, they asked me and I told them I'm taking CBD. I did tell them that. But I also told them I was taking whatchamacallit, a multivitamin and a fish oil, and they made me stop the fish oil and CBD before surgery.
Oh, they did. Okay. And the other thing I wanted to ask, when we first join, we get the gift packet. Which one of those did we get with that? I know we got the roll-on for the roll-on cream pain, but the other bottle, which one is that? Is that the isolate or
No, you have the
tincture?
choice. You have the choice of choosing.
Okay, well, I didn't. I just got it, and that's the one I'm using right now. It's the one with the dropper.
Is it green label or
knew
blue
it-
label?
I don't know. I don't have it right in front of me, and it would take me an hour to get all the way upstairs. So just so I know when I go.
The green is the full spectrum.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
And
you.
what I like about our brand is that is a consistent theme. So you will
You see
always
that?
know if it's a green label, the green label is full spectrum. So
I'm not sure we can see that.
the green gummies are sleep
I
gummies
see it.
are
Yeah.
Okay.
full spectrum. And so just know that as a theme that our CEO and founders put in place to help make sure it's a clarity that folks can have, just so you know.
Yeah, that really helps. Thank you.
All right.
All right, y'all. I know it's late, and I know we're not gonna keep Dr. Fred all night because he has been dropping gems, dropping diamonds tonight. I really appreciate you, Dr. Fred, as always. As I always said, Dr. Fred says, I'm gonna make sure I really am. And so yeah, he added a lot of value this evening, and I will make a YouTube video of this so you all can have it to be able to utilize for yourself, for you to have the information and be able to leverage it. So this has been phenomenal, so very helpful. So Dr. Fred, any closing words before we close out?
I want to say to cherish your health, honor your health, and take care of yourself. And as I always say, enjoy the journey.
Awesome. Thank you so very much, Dr. Fred. Appreciate you. All right, and just to follow up behind, and I'm going to go ahead and just stop the recording so I can then just say this so that we don't have that in the video.